All right, man, peace. So Zion Williamson made his stellar debut against the Kentucky Wildcats last week, and since then, he's been at the forefront of the minds of most of the NBA pundits as well as many of the NBA coaches. One of them being Steve Kerr, the prominent basketball coach of the Golden State Warriors, who went out of his way to praise Zion Williamson, even comparing him to the great LeBron James. Well, of course, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Speaking of LeBron, Steve Kerr speaking about a player that reminds him of the King. Listen to the sound.
I saw some kid on Duke last night who was pretty impressive. My goodness. I probably can't say anything more or mention his name.
You know what's so interesting? The first time that I became aware of Zion Williamson was seeing many of his high school basketball clips on World Star, where he was known for completing these unbelievable moves in games against little 5'8", 5'9" Caucasian basketball players while he was playing high school basketball in South Carolina. Of course, as we all know, there are plenty of acrobatic basketball players all across the country, and it's very difficult to tell how good someone really is based on the competition that most of these players go against in high school, which normally makes them look like Wilt Chamberlain in 1962. It's not until they get to the college basketball ranks or to the NBA that we get a real chance to see how they fare against upper-level competition. Well, it's only been one game so far, but Zion Williamson has pretty much shown that, in my view, I liken him to a combination of Charles Barkley and Shawn Kemp, and I've heard many other prominent talking heads also utilize that comparison, and I think that it's very apt. He has the overall floor game of a Charles Barkley. He has the explosiveness of a Shawn Kemp.
I thought LeBron was. I thought that was a one guy, one shot deal, but apparently the next.
Well, LeBron James is a one-shot deal. Zion Williamson is not going to be another LeBron James. He's going to be the first Zion Williamson. So we need to see exactly what his skill set is. Who knows? He may be able to run the offense similar to a LeBron James, but that's not going to make him LeBron James. Everyone's a little bit different, but of course, we always compare the new up-and-coming star to what we've seen before. When Jordan first came into the NBA, he was the new Dr. J. As a matter of fact, prior to his rookie season, he even took promotional photos with a doctor's lab coat on and a stethoscope. And the caption read, "The new Dr. J," or something along those lines. So, I mean, it's normal for people to compare the new thing to what they've seen before.
The next guy's coming, and before I get fined, I'm going to change the subject.
Jay Rose, you agree with Kerr?
I do agree, and here's what he's alluding to. Physical freaks of nature. A couple of them I got a chance to play against that were #1 overall picks, like I think Zion will be. Shaquille O'Neal playing the center spot. His size, his bulk, his big personality was something that the game hadn't seen. LeBron James, high school games on ESPN, pull it up in a Hummer, living up to the height, exceeding the height, an amazing athlete that was a primary ball handler at 6'8", 250 plus pounds. This guy is 6'8", 285 pounds. Just think about that.
With a 48.
You know, Shannon Sharp has made the point that he does not believe that Zion Williamson is going to be able to carry that bulk into the NBA, especially as he gets older. As of right now, he's a bit of a wonderkin. Now, Charles Barkley, when he was in college, he was about 6'5.5", and he also carried a lot of bulk. He was about 290. I believe he was even over 300 pounds before he came into the NBA. And I do believe that eventually Zion will slim down, but I think that his overall size is a part of his allure. Just the fact that somebody could be that explosive at that size is really unbelievable. The man has a 45-inch vertical leap at 6'7", 280 pounds.
8-inch vert.
He can take off from the free throw line. We have never seen an athlete with this level of size, bulk, versatility, and the ability to now be a transcendent athlete in the NBA and in college basketball.
Question about Zion Williamson, because LeBron James can still be a perimeter player, a two-way perimeter player. Guys like...
No, LeBron James is not a two-way perimeter player. This is not 2013 Max Kellerman. LeBron James is a one-way perimeter player right now. He plays no defense.
Guys like Charles Barkley and recently Blake Griffin were physical phenoms who were a little more wide-bodied, not like rim defenders, not real...
Right, but Blake Griffin was a fitness freak. When he came into the NBA, nobody was talking about his overall physical composition. Now, Charles Barkley was naturally wide, but he was also very, very flabby, especially around his midsection. But he was a preternatural athlete. That's what Charles Barkley was. I mean, as well as Blake Griffin. But Blake Griffin was viewed as having that Adonis, quote-unquote, Greek god body type. Now, Zion Williamson is somewhere in the middle of those two.
Not real perimeter players the way Jordan or LeBron or someone like that are, yet they have this unique skill set. Those so far have turned out to be dead-end players in terms of winning a championship. They're ball dominant. You got to pay them a lot. Is Zion Williamson in that trap? Or can he be a championship player in the NBA one day?
I had this debate on this.
It depends on his floor skills. Is he somebody that you can run the offense through? That's the bottom line. Once again, we can comp him to Shawn Kemp. But Shawn Kemp played in an era where the offense was always ran through the point guard. The power forward, the center, they stayed in the low post. If they shot jump shots, they were not allowed to stretch it beyond 18 feet. This is a totally different era in the NBA.
This show one time, and after I had that debate, I wasn't on for a few years. It was about positionless basketball. And that's what the NBA embodies right now, Max. You take this guy and you put him up front on any team. You just surround him with athletes. You surround him with playmakers. You surround him with shooters. Ain't nobody taking a charge on him. Okay? He can guard 4s and 5s on the post because he has the physical strength. And when they get on transition, 4-on-3s, 3-on-2s, 2s-on-1s, he's going to be dominant. There are teams that are already lining up to tank for this guy.
Most likely, as they should be. The Knicks should be trying to tank for Zion Williamson. That's what they need to do.
This guy,
already right now.
This guy. Look, I'm not one. I'll give people their props with.
And if the Knicks were to draft Zion Williamson, he would be the first player of that type that they would ever be fortunate enough to have. Quiet as kept, the Knicks have never had a truly explosive athlete on their roster. The closest that I could think of would be Latrell Sprewell. But other than that, they've never had that 6'6", 6'7" guy who could jump through the gym.
That's where it's due, because I pride myself on being fair. This dude is special. And I'm just talking about a physical freak. And I'm looking at other things. Because you can look at the 280, 85 pounds, the 46 to 48 vertical leap. You can see all of that. Okay, that's fine. Built like a chiseled brick house. I'm paying attention to that. Then I'm paying attention to the speed. He has speed in the open court. He has a handle.
And the passing.
And he can pass.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there like, I have not. I've been covering basketball for a quarter century.
Not quite like him.
This is
but
something.
my question.
And by the way, LeBron was not this big in his first year in the NBA. Obviously,
well, he was not that wide. Once again, I think that it's dangerous to compare body types. The LeBron James body type, the Blake Griffin body type, the Shawn Kemp body type, the Charles Barkley body type. Everybody's a little bit different. Zion Williams has a different body type from anybody, basically, that I've ever seen come into the NBA. He has a little bit of Larry Johnson, a little bit of Charles Barkley, a little bit of Shawn Kemp, a little bit of Blake Griffin, a little bit of LeBron. So we'll see if he's able to be as productive as those players were.
Obviously, that would have been his first year in college. His first year in the NBA. LeBron wasn't this big.
No, of course.
Not this big. He ain't this big now.
But what I'm saying is, and maybe this era is more conducive to a guy like this winning, and he's different than even like Blake Griffin or Shawn Kemp or Charles Barkley, right? I'm just wondering if he can be the best player on a championship team one day.
He's not even the best player.
Right, but you're wondering a lot about a lot of things right now, Max Kellerman. The kid has only played a couple of games. Let him show what he can do. There are very few players in the history of the NBA that could lead their team to championships. When we look at the top 50 greatest players of all time, how many of them would we assert were good enough to lead their team to championships? It's not many.
Play on his own team right now. That'd be R.J. Berry.
Right, but he's so different that all you see him one time in college, you're already wondering that.
This dude is a bowling ball, Max. Ain't nobody getting in this dude's way. Like, the NBA is about freestyle, open basketball, and when somebody has a lane, they're taking it. He's going to be a terrific finisher. He's going to be able to compete defensively. He's going to learn how to play from Duke University because he's getting coached by one of the greatest of all time.
You love Duke.
Absolutely,
If
I
he
do.
shoots-
I'm 0-4 against those
If
guys.
he learns how to shoot, like really a knockdown shoot,
I'm not going to
Absolutely.
lie to you, Max. We don't know if he can't shoot.
right?
We haven't seen him yet. We don't. I saw him shoot. I saw him shoot a couple of jump shots. Looked pretty good to me.
He did.
We don't know if
He looks like he got an idea what he's doing, doesn't he?
Just looking at that one jump shot that he shot Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to guesstimate that he's not the best shooter in the world. Okay? We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just has a very awkward jump shot form. But he does not look like somebody who's going to be a killer from three-point range.
Find out in 2 weeks he got a jump shot too. We don't know.
And also, the next guy doesn't always look like the last guy. Don't be fooled. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. As I've already stated, there's going to be a little bit of an alteration from player to player. No two players are exactly alike. Well, you know, other than Kobe Bryant trying to copy every aspect of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see you on Jalen and Jacoby later today.
Yes.
Oh, please, you're going to see him tonight.
Yes,
Get
indeed.
up tomorrow, and then what games do you guys have for countdown?
It don't stop.
Okay.
It does not stop. Something Lakers, something LeBron, I'm pretty sure is going to be a part of the conversation.
All right, good stuff.
As usual. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Mr. Zion Williamson. Hopefully things go well for him for however long his college career lasts into the NBA. So peace.